Brothers and sisters, welcome. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary. I want to tell you what I did from the 12th of November, Tuesday the 12th, through Saturday the 16th of November, 2024. So on the 12th, I started out at my office. It was my 36th anniversary of priestly ordination. I am still a priest, of course. Ontologically, we never lose that, just like we never lose our baptism. And that is the 12th of November, 1988. So I began, of course, praying gratefully to God for this gift, and did some various work at my desk having to do with the following topics, on email and other paperwork. One of our staff people who handles videos, getting videos out to you on the website, communication with her, also with her about updating the election pages of the website now that the elections of 2024 are past us. Follow-up postings online about recently completed trips, plans for future trips that I've accepted on my calendar, ordering of more envelopes for special letters that we send out to donors and bishops, communicating with staff about that, appeal approvals, and plans for the Walk for Life West Coast, the second largest pro-life event every year in the nation. Morning meetings with various staff and getting the day underway with them. The morning meetings are very important to coordinate activities for the day so we make the maximum amount of progress. So staff here in the office and also those off location. And then as the morning went on, I prepared for the trip I'm making over the next few days, which you'll hear about in a moment. And then at 11 o'clock, jumped onto a national Zoom call of the Abortion Recovery Coalition, ARC. I'm a member of that. Priests for Life is a member of that because we do recovery work for those who have had abortions. As soon as that was over, I connected with one of my staff people that took me up the road a little ways from my office to a car rental facility and picked up a rental car. Of course, I have the car that I always use, but we had to pick up a rental because I was going to be leaving it at the Palm Beach airport, and then that's what I did. But a little bit later, first I went back to my office, did some early afternoon work along the lines of the things I just mentioned, and then at 2 p.m. left the office to go to the West Palm Beach airport. Now on the way, I had phone calls, connected with staff, listened to some political podcasts, and just enjoyed the ride down there. Dropped off the car at the airport and then made my way over to a local hotel where I got ready to greet people that evening for the events taking place with the America First Policy Institute. And so that was very, very good. I went over to one of the other local hotels where this group was gathering. The America First Policy Institute was having this semi-annual meeting, and I was together with all sorts of conservative leaders there, and people in the Trump administration in the past and working on the transition. We had a beautiful evening reception. I talked to some of the key people. And after that reception and welcoming and a light dinner, I had to jump on at 8 o'clock to a national phone call, again, a Zoom call, but I joined by phone because I was still there in the hotel with all these other leaders. And that was for our Silent No More regional coordinators. So these are people who helped to run the Silent No More campaign. Was on with a half hour with them together with Janet, the co-founder of the campaign, who's also our executive director. That concluded the events of Tuesday the 12th. After that Zoom call, I went back to my room at the other hotel. Then came Wednesday the 13th of November. Now, lots of desk work. I started out at my hotel before going over to join these conservative leaders. I had to work on plans for upcoming trips. I had to work on approvals for email blasts going out. I had to work on end-of-year information. The end of the year is a very important time. Of course, we summarize, assess, categorize our work accomplished during 2024. Some communication with national polling experts, talking about analysis of election results. Planning for 2025. There's a lot of detailed planning that goes into that. And also, again, we're looking ahead to the West Coast Walk for Life that we help to organize. We do organize the Silent No More gathering. That is an integral part of that major event each year. There, working in my hotel room, I then had a 10 a.m. interview via Skype with a national broadcast, talking about the elections, talking about the pro-life movement. Did that, and then continued working at my desk and interacting with staff. Took a walk down the street to get some lunch. More interaction with staff and other desk work. Let me see some more details here about Wednesday the 13th. These are my yellow planning sheets that I use on every trip. Okay, yes, and then at 4:30, I had an Uber reserved to go over to Mar-a-Lago. And at Mar-a-Lago, again, we had a beautiful evening event with President Trump, Elon Musk, and a whole lot of other dignitaries that are going to be part of the administration. It was a beautiful evening reception and concert. And at that concert, we all listened to Chris Macchio, really great singer, and did God Bless America at the end with President Trump and Elon Musk standing up there next to the singer on the stage. It was really, really nice. It was outside on the west lawn of Mar-a-Lago. The next day was Thursday, November 14th, and these events continued with all these conservative leaders. I went over from my hotel to the other hotel that was hosting some of these events, and we had a prayer breakfast. And at that prayer breakfast, again, many dignitaries from the administration. I was recognized for the support I gave President Trump, even at the cost of getting into trouble with certain, not all, certain bishops in the church who don't seem to be on the right track politically, and that's going to be to the detriment of the church. Because I've been saying to them for years, and the next 4 years will prove it, President Trump is our best friend. If you're in favor of the church, he's your best friend. Mark my words. And the Democrats are your worst enemy. So that's the Democrat Party. So went over to that, took part in that fully, greeted and interacted with a whole bunch of people, including with Dr. Alveda King, who's part of our Priests for Life team, sat next to her during the prayer service and so forth. Came back to my other hotel, did a few hours of work there. I had to connect with my staff. We had a broadcast scheduling meeting to look ahead to the broadcasting of the coming week. Then at 11 o'clock, I joined some national legal experts, and we were talking about appointments to the new Trump administration, and particularly those that intersect with the world of legal affairs and the courts. Had a good conversation with those leaders at that point, and then that was at 11, and then at 11:30, I had to go into a meeting regarding some family preparations and provisions that we're making for my mom's care at home. And you've seen her on my videos; she's doing pretty well. And but we're setting up some, additional assistance for her, and she appreciates your support for us and your prayers and your greetings online. Then I had some lunch, did some quiet work at my desk on the topics that I mentioned to you. Actually, here's some more of those topics. Filling administrative posts, again, was a topic of email. The snowbirds, we always invite people who are visiting Florida to come visit our Priests for Life headquarters, so I'm sending out some messaging about that with the help of our staff. The broadcast schedule, did some follow-up work to our meeting, some work on opinion pieces that were getting published in various papers. Some updating with my staff about the Virtus certificates. What is that? That is the training that staff people have for proper conduct in the workplace. So we've been doing that for decades. All your parishes and schools, Catholic institutions and other institutions do that to create a safe working environment. So we're making sure all that is kept up to date for our staff. Past parish outreach, I was helping one of our priests to get that information together about trips he's made in the past on behalf of Priests for Life so that he can arrange more for the future. Pro-life groups, website help. There's a lot of groups that we assist in the maintenance of their online presence, and I was communicating with my staff about some of that. and also taking a look with staff on some election statistics, gathering together the impact of the work that we've done in this election. Then at 5 o'clock, I headed back over to Mar-a-Lago, and we had our evening event, again with President Trump, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, Speaker Mike Johnson of the House, and many others. In fact, President Javier Milei from Argentina was there with us. He gave some remarks. It was a glorious evening. And really, really joyful on everybody's part. I interacted with so many of those folks. And then at the end of the night, went back to my hotel for a very, very joyful rest. Okay, the next morning I got up at 4:30, actually before 4:30, because the hotel shuttle departed at 4:30 to go over to the West Palm Beach airport. Why? Because then I had to go to another meeting of conservative political leaders up in our nation's capital. So I flew on an early flight from Florida to Washington, landed there. Actually, I had to connect over in Atlanta. So I landed in Atlanta first, got on the phone with my staff. Let me go on to this next piece of paper here, and communicated with our administrative team, with our executive director, with our finance director. We had to make some plans there on the phone for upcoming work. Took care of that, went very smoothly, got on my plane, went to Washington, D.C., connected with our executive director, Janet, who was also there for the meeting, and took part in the meeting. Hundreds and hundreds of conservative leaders. They love our work. We support their work. And we interacted. We had the Speaker Mike Johnson was there also, and he gave a great talk to us, updating us on the latest developments and preparation for the new Congress, and just intersected with the various leaders that were there. Took a little time back away in my room. I had to intersect with my staff on a number of things. Pro-life website help, once again, election statistics, and also website domains that we are renewing, along with a bunch of other stuff that they were updating me about. Went back downstairs, took part in more of the meetings and the social networking with the leaders that were there. And then later in the afternoon, we had a mass in one of the rooms. And then I had a meeting with Alan Sears. So many of you may know he was president for a long time of Alliance Defending Freedom. And Alan is a great pro-life attorney and friend. Met with him together with Janet. And then right after that, I spoke at one of the receptions. There is a new book out about Sister Dee Dee Byrne, and the author had a reception there, and Dr. Lisa Marie Carzon, and she had me say something at that reception because I know Sister, and I also know about this book, helped a little bit in bringing it about. So it was a great reception. And after I said a few words at that reception, the reception concluded, and then we went to the larger reception with these hundreds of conservative leaders, Janet and I interacting with them, then having a nice gala dinner. Steve Bannon spoke, and Tony Perkins, Tom Fitton. These were some of the people running the event. Went to bed after that, very happy about all of those meetings. And then the next day, I think I actually jumped ahead of myself here. Wait a minute now. I told you about all those meetings. Yes, those things took place on Saturday. So what happened was Friday, getting there, yes, there were these meetings, and then there was a dinner in the evening. And then Saturday, the day started again. And we had in the morning a breakfast buffet where we give member reports. And so what I did was gave the report on behalf of Priests for Life. So these things I just told you about, including the Mass and Alan Sears and the reception, that was all Saturday. Friday was part of the same meeting, similar events in the evening with the gala banquet and interacting with all these different leaders. That then brought us to the end of Saturday. Some of the things I had to do Saturday as I checked in on my computer were upcoming trip plans, outreach to donors and new donors alike, work with the company that does our prospecting mailing. In fact, one of those leaders of that group was here at this same meeting, so I had a late morning meeting with her. Communication with the board of a major evangelical group that wants me to join their board, and also promotion of our upcoming prayer service on the day of the March for Life. All of that intersecting with people via email and phone to work on that. So those were the days from November the 12th through the 16th, Tuesday through Saturday, 2024. Hope your days are fruitful. Thanks for your support of our work.